And then I do have this presentation going through it as well. And so you can kind of see a couple of variations of this animation. So real quick, I'm just going to go through this. So keyframe specifies animation code. Animation that is created gradually by changing one set of CSS styles to another. And you can change the set of CSS styles many times. So this idea of binding it, so you have to pick a name and apply it to the keyframes rules. So here's an example of changing color. So let me show you this example. So let me see. So in this example, instead of changing position, for the from and to, we're changing the background color. And it's being applied to example, so that's where it's being bound to. So that name appears here. So if you play this one, here it is right here. Oops. So it's basically changing from red to yellow. And here, it doesn't have a, it's not set to infinity, so it just plays once and it stops. So that's it. If I increase the duration, it will play once, but it'll play once over a much longer time period. So that's changing color.
Where did you see that it wasn't set to infinity? In which set of code?
Right here. So there's no, so
versus animation name or animation duration?
Actually it's animation iteration count. So what I had before was actually the shorthand code, but if I say animation count infinity and then play this, it would just keep on going. So there it goes again. So second time, you know, if you put a number in there instead of infinity, it would just do it that many times. So if I put 2 in there, it would just play it twice. Yeah. What I had before was shortcode 2. You'll see in this presentation. You can do, so I'll show you the shortcode code in a second. Instead of from and to, you can also do percentages, which is kind of cool. So I'm just going to copy this. So here I got percentages instead of from and to. And what this will do, it will, a quarter of the way through, it'll become yellow. Then halfway through, it becomes blue. And then at the end, it becomes green. So if I go back to my code, and I replace this with these percentages, now when I play it, it's going to go through the whole spectrum of colors here. So you can use from and to, or you can use percentages, which is kind of cool. Like, you know, I can just keep on adding. I can, instead of, I can go 75%. Background green. Let's say background pink. So, you know, I just added pink to it. So you can do from or to, or you can use percentages. So from 0 to 100, you can do like, you could break it up into 1%, 2% if you wanted to go crazy with something. You could really get really granular with the amount of percentages you use. So here are the different properties that are part of this in the breakdown. So you have your animation name. So that's the name that you choose. And here's the link too. If you want to learn more about this, I'll include this link. because it goes into more detail. Here you're basically saying, it's just saying you can add as many keyframes as you want in one animation. So you can add as many percentage points here as you want. Here's now an example where not only are you changing color, but you're changing positioning at the same time, and you just separate it with a semicolon. So here's some other properties. You have animation delay. So if you add animation delay, it'll delay it by the number of seconds. And then you have these timing functions. So the animation timing function property is something that, if you're familiar with motion graphics, like After Effects, this is kind of the equivalent, where it starts fast and then it slows, or it starts slow and then it speeds up. It doesn't change the amount of time, but it changes the rate at an incremental level for each frame that you have. So you see here, you have animation name, duration, timing function, linear, which is no ease in or ease out, delay, so it's gonna wait 2 seconds before it starts. The amount, it can be like, this could be a number or go on forever. Direction, you go forward, backwards, or alternate with like ping pong back and forth. And now here's the shorthand. So this was my first example that you saw. Instead of doing all of this, you can just do this. You can just say animation, put your name there, duration, timing function, the delay, how many times it happens, and then that direction. So that, Felicia, this is the equivalent of using that all of this in shorthand.
Oh, okay.
So this is the sprite example. So I just showed you that the first time, but so with this, basically all you're doing is you're animating the position in a background image, and that's it. And yeah, so that's another way to do animation.